Hey friends, welcome to DNF Diaries. Every other week we bring you a wonderfully entertaining, low stakes, absolutely no shame story of a DNF in the ultramarathon, sub-ultra, FKT, or through hike world. For those that are not familiar, DNF stands for did not fail. Just kidding, it means did not finish.
Could be.
Failure's in the eye of the beholder. We are accepting DNF stories through our email, dnfconfessions@gmail.com. Or there's a Google form in the show notes that you could fill out. Please, please, please send us your interesting stories about DNFing and ultramarathon, marathon, foot race, through hike, FKT, or any of the above. The more detail, the better, and we might reach out and ask for more details depending on the story you send us. And if you'd like to be kept anonymous, we will absolutely do that.
So this is a little different of an episode. We're touching knees right now.
Yeah.
So what's that mean? We're together.
In person.
We're also touching knees with a special guest at the moment. But before we get into that, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Tara Dower. I like to run, maybe drink fizzy water here and there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm Arlee Hiskey. I also like to run. And good fizzy water really gets me going in the morning.
Yeah. So who are we touching knees with right now?
Oh my gosh, can I talk?
Yeah, tell us who you are.
Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your favorite reoccurring character here. I am Rascal. That's right. The third of the triad. I'm here. I'm so excited.
What do you like doing?
Me? Oh my gosh. I like to gallivant around the world and mostly
around the world.
All right.
Did you spend to one country? Spend to one country? That's not America.
I'm a through hiker. I'm a repeat offender through hiker. Is my stint, my deal.
Have you ever heard of the Pacific Coast Trail?
Pacific Coast, one of my faves. One of my faves. Thank you, Cheryl, from Wild, who didn't even finish the trail.
So she never said she was going to finish it. I love that book. It changed my whole life.
She was out there for...
I would just really like to stick up for her right now.
Yeah.
This burn book session.
So Rascal is our buddy. I met Rascal on the Appalachian Trail in 2019. Mm-hmm. I remember hearing her voice first, and I was like, who the heck is that? Is that Mila Kunis in the tent who just incessantly jokes? There's what was his name? You were with
I was hiking with Yogi and Rastus at the time.
Rastus. Yeah, you guys were joking.
That was the second time we met. BT Dubs. We met down by the water source right before Lehigh Gap. The first time because you came running down the hill, and I was like, "Who is this chick who's like actually hiking fast?" Because I hadn't met any other females who were hiking fast.
Turns out I just had anxiety.
Turns out she was just really anxious about finding water.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
I cried about water in that section. I really did. Yeah.
I was really thirsty.
So I just cried. Hung on to that that sentiment of oh, is there another above average hiker out here who's a female that I could hang out with?
Turns out I was above average.
Turns out
in every way
that 6-7 years later we're touching knees on a podcast.
Oh yeah,
crazy.
This is great, by the way.
Yeah.
Arlee, how did you meet Rascal?
Rascal and I met back in the day. We'd both just moved to Burlington and finished the long trail days apart from each other. Didn't know each other. And we were working at the Outdoor Gear Exchange. I was in the basement. You were on the floor. Mm-hmm. And I went upstairs to try and find something. And I said, hey, I'm new here. I don't know where anything is. Do you know where this is? My name's Arlee, like Harley with no H. And then we started running together in the mornings at 6 a.m. And then we ran our first marathon together.
Oh my God.
I remember that.
And it was love at first sight. And we've been best friends ever since. We were inseparable for 2 years.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I met Arlee through Rascal on the JMT, John Muir Trail, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Yeah. We are a DNF podcast. So we actually want to pose a question to you guys. There is a differing of opinions in the group on if we actually DNF'd the John Muir Trail.
You could say a divide.
Yeah, there's a divide. So once you hear this story, message us or interact with our Instagram. Let us know what you think if this truly was a DNF, because some of us believe it was not, and some of us believe absolutely it was. So we'll leave you guys up to that decision. So we're going to talk about the John Muir Trail today. What year was it? Can you actually, Rascal, set the scene for us?
You were the trip leader.
Yeah, what made you...
What made me con you into hiking the JMT with us?
Yeah. You did lie to Tara.
I lied a lot.
You lied to Tara about it. Yeah.
Pretty much our relationship is one big lie.
So it's 2021. Yes, it is spring, and you are required to apply for permits for the John Muir Trail. It's a bucket list trail for anyone who knows anything about hiking, because it's through,
let's be kind,
the Sierra Nevada mountains. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. And everyone and their mom wants to hike it. But it's permitted, obviously, because it goes through Yosemite National Park.
Yeah.
And so some people, I had heard rumor that it took them up to 10 years applying for these permits before they could actually go out and hike the JMT.
Yeah.
So I was back and forth between what trail I wanted to do that season. I was like, oh, I kind of want to do PCT, but like JMT seems really cool. Maybe I should like save up for PCT, whatever, all this stuff. So I applied for JMT permits, and originally it was going to be...
I believe you applied for them while we were both on the clock.
We were both working. Yes, we were in the gear shop working.
Yeah.
And I used I time theft some of my time at the shop more than once, but this specific day to apply for permits. And yeah, we got them. It was basically how the system works is you apply, and then there's a 21-day period where every single day they send you an email saying that you've been rejected for the permits, and you only get tossed into the lottery for those 21 days before they're like, all right, you have to just try again next season.
Yeah.
And we were like halfway through this period, and Arlee and I were coming back from a little ski day at Mad River Glen. You know, skied if you can, which
if you can.
Neither of us
beginner skiers
had
we did
much experience ever. But yeah, I got the email on the car ride home, and we flipped out. We're like, oh my God, we're going to go hike the JMT. And I had gotten 4 permits because originally it was going to be Arlee, Tara, myself, and then our friend Liz. But then Liz had to back out, so then we tossed our friend Reese in there. So yeah, which was funny because I never actually personally met Reese at that moment, by that time. So it was like Tara was bringing her friend, and then it's like I was bringing my friend.
Yeah.
And then we all became best friends.
Yeah. And I also should say we have a puzzle that's being worked on under this podcasting equipment, and Arlee just put in a piece that was, I think, crucial to like completing this puzzle. So
this is not a real puzzle.
It's a Goodwill puzzle, so there's definitely pieces missing.
It's
but
mass chaos.
It was $5, and it's a horse and a swordsman, so it's pretty cool. Anyways,
chaos over here.
So we got our permits. We got, what is it called? The golden ticket of permits for the John Muir Trail.
So we just start from the beginning of Yosemite.
Yeah, Happy Isles to Whitney exit. That's like, and it's August, so it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be great weather.
And we got Half Dome permits included, too. So
we were
allowed to climb Half Dome.
Part of how Megan scammed Tara into doing this is that she told Tara it was going to be peak wildflower season.
Totally.
And it was not.
No.
It was gorgeous.
It was gorgeous.
Was not, there were, I would say 0 to none, no flowers.
That's
I
okay.
just pulled that out of my ass.
Yeah, well,
sometimes it's hard to get Tara to like commit to do things because she's all busy committing to do her other things, which is fair. I get that. But I was like, listen, these are once in a lifetime
coming from a person who has a lot of their own things going on, that's
but when
hilarious.
It's a trail,
I like to think that Rascal knew we would all be besties.
Yeah.
So
it was
I think,
yeah.
So yeah, we get this golden ticket permit, and there's 4 people. It is me, Reese, Rascal, and Arlee. And so, I mean, we were off from the East Coast. So this is our first time where we're going to see like legit, like Sierras, huge mountains.
Mm-hmm.
If you
None
don't
of
know,
us have ever been out there.
Yeah. If you don't know about the John Muir Trail, just look at pictures. It's gorgeous. And It starts in Happy Isles in Yosemite, so it's beautiful. So first day we get out there and it went pretty well. I think we did
we did
8.
we climbed a lot.
Yeah, we climbed up and out.
We camped right before Half Dome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Any thoughts about the first day, you guys?
It was great. I had been leading trips all summer and hiking at kid pace, and it felt so fun and exciting to be hiking at grown up pace.
Yeah.
And I was just so stoked to be out there. I was a little nervous because we had met before.
Yeah.
We'd met 24 hours before. When we had
what were you nervous about?
I was just nervous about being
were you nervous I would
an outlier because I knew you and Meg were best friends and I didn't know you at all. And I was like, oh, I wonder, I don't know, what is this going to be like?
Yeah.
You know?
I'm kind of exclusive. I did ignore you that entire trip.
That's not true.
Yeah, and I kind of gave you the cold shoulder the entire trip. I don't remember
that.
Yeah.
I think that's when the relationship of you two bullying me really started.
Oh my God.
And now it's just
when we were ready to get food and you said, let's go back to the hotel.
And I was like,
wait, what was that?
No, when we just got into town. And I was like, we are disgusting. Can we go take showers? And they're all like, no, we're going to the brewery right now.
I was so hungry.
I was so hungry.
Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So yeah, the first day went really well. The second day we hiked up to Half Dome and that was beautiful.
Yeah.
There was, at that time though, there was wildfires that had happened before and it was pretty smoky. I don't know if you guys felt this, but I felt a little winded because one, it's a little bit higher than anywhere on the East Coast that I was at. And then I think I was actually living in San Diego then. So it's still low.
You were.
And then smoke too. So I was feeling a little winded. Do you guys, and then the second night we slept at that creek with that random
guy asked if we wanted to go to the mall.
Is that where I threw that temper tantrum?
No. We haven't gotten there yet.
No.
Oh,
we'll get there. We'll get there.
This is to come.
Don't worry.
That's that's
nice teaser.
Glad we can publicize that.
So yeah, we went up to Half Dome.
Yeah.
I got scared and bailed on Half Dome. I was really worried that my hands would stop working and I would just fall down the cables. So I decided to go down and quit. And that was the right choice for me. No regrets. And then we continued and we hiked. We were maybe 20 miles outside of Mammoth Lakes.
Yeah.
By the end of that day. We camped at this site. There was this guy there going the other direction. And he was like, oh, you guys are going to Reds tomorrow? You could take the bus and go to the mall in Mammoth Lakes. And we were like, in what world are we going to a mall?
Why would we
through hiking right now, buddy?
Why would we come all that way?
It was a real gendered comment.
Yeah.
It really was.
We encountered a lot of those.
Then we go to Reds, which was great. That was
So we go to Tuolumne, and then we go up Donahue, and then we make it to
I
Reds.
forgot about Donahue. Yeah.
So we sleep a night near Tuolumne, and then we sleep a night after Donahue.
Yeah, Donahue Pass was our first big pass that we went over. And it was stunning. It was incredible.
Oh, we had that beer on top.
We did.
And I made that joke about popping our pass cherries.
Yeah. That was a good one.
That was a good joke.
So that was a great joke.
Okay.
Great joke.
That's what I remember. We got to the top. We cracked a beer. I made that joke. And then we kept hiking.
Well, Courtney likes cracking jokes at the top of passes, I hear, or at the top of mountains. She says in preparation for Cocodona, to know she's okay, she wants to make it to the top of Eldon and be able to tell herself a joke properly with the right punchline.
Okay.
So I think you're just practicing.
I was ahead of our time.
Yeah, you are, honestly.
Per usual.
Yeah.
So this entire time, Rascal's a really good hiker. I don't know if you know that. If you didn't know, Rascal's a great hiker. Arlee has been guiding all summer, so they're a really good hiker, backpacker. I'm okay because I'm not really doing a lot at this time. But I'm keeping up, but I'm really worried about Reese because there's something, I don't want to speak for her, but there is when she backpacks, something happens and maybe it's a weird gait. I don't quite know exactly what it is, but it causes her a lot of pain. And she has to go to the chiropractor a lot. But she, at this time, she's a trooper.
Dude.
And she was in so much pain every single day. And I was like, if you know me, I am anxious and I'm worried. And if my people are hurting, I am not okay.
And Reese was hurting.
Reese was hurting so bad.
And she was downplaying it a lot too.
Yeah, she was.
Like you could tell.
Yeah. She's a trooper. So this entire time, like, it's beautiful. We have the best weather. It's a little smoky. But
not bad.
Yeah. Once we left Yosemite, I don't think
it was fine.
Our packs were heavy too. We
had those bear cans.
Fucking carry bear. I hate bear cans.
They were heavy. But we did it. And we did it.
Our bear method. Do you remember our bear method?
Peeing outside our tents?
Yeah,
I do it every night when I'm backpacking.
Absolutely.
Me and Arlee would walk around the tents in a crab-like manner and pee
to keep the bears away.
And it worked.
To keep the bears away. It worked.
The bears did not
worked great.
Yeah.
I do that.
I do it every night when I'm backpacking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if I'm around other people. Because I'm not trying to get eaten in the middle of the night.
And I sleep with my food everywhere, so it's like you gotta protect yourself.
But we don't recommend that at DNF Diaries.
No, we don't endorse that.
Yeah, we don't endorse that.
We endorse following proper food storage methods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we've told the story where, beautiful. Reese is hurting a lot.
Yeah.
And we cut down to VVR. Because we've all sent boxes there.
Which is what? Vermilion Valley Ranch?
Vermilion Valley Resort.
Yeah, resort.
What a lovely
on the way there, how many miles? Like, I don't. If you're an
10 miles off trail.
If you're an East Coast,
no, it was not.
Yeah,
it
was.
Blue Line. It is like 2.5 miles.
No,
I promise you, because I did it again the next.
The way
summer.
that we went up back to the trail was like 2.5.
That's when we came back from Bishop. When we went over Bishop past Doozy Basin.
No.
VVR?
Yeah, it was 10.
It was 10.
Not.
I promise.
I can literally pull up the far out map.
Do it.
All right. Deal. Someone find me my phone.
I'm not doing that.
It's in my pocket.
So it's 10 miles down.
Not. It's not. It's 2.5.
I listened to so much of My Misery book.
Yeah.
I listened to a lot of it.
I was listening to all of Shittown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the podcast. Incredible podcast.
It's 2.5 miles to where you get to the road, and then what's her face came to pick us up.
No. That's
we
how
never
we went
got
back up. Remember, because we
got
off trail.
Y'all are ridiculous.
And we got lost, Megan. And then we saw Tara through the woods, and we're like, oh my God, that's the trail.
We walked through a burned area because the boat wasn't running.
Yeah.
The boat wasn't running. Anyways, so we get down to VVR. What is your guys' first impression of VVR when you get
Oasis.
there? Yeah.
Oasis.
It's dreamy.
Food.
Just going through the burn area was weird.
Yeah,
and it was hot. And so it was really exciting to get down there.
Okay, now that I'm remembering, it was more than the 2 miles was back out on the south side.
So
on the north side. I don't think it was 10.
Okay.
It was probably like 8 to 10.
It's probably it's probably like
8 to 12.
6 to 8.
So like 10.
Let me find it.
Round up.
Yeah. So we get to VVR and we have our food buckets sent there.
5-gallon buckets is what you had to send, I think.
Yeah, so you send your food bucket there, and we camped, and Rascal did a work for stay.
Oh, they had
I was a waitress.
Really good hiker box.
I was a waitress for a day. Oh, that's where we found those Oreos.
Yeah. There's an iconic photo of you and I with the Oreos in the hiker box.
Yeah. I love that photo. This whole time, like, I am so worried about Reese, and she kind of comes to the conclusion. We stay there just a night, right?
Just one night.
Yeah, 1 night.
Yeah.
Reese comes to a conclusion she won't be able to like continue on with us because it's another 150 miles from there.
Yeah, to Bishop.
Well,
where we
overall,
get off.
Yeah, it was like
it was 6.5.
Okay,
like at Ascend to VVR, 6.5 in,
and then you got to walk the road. Anyway, so that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It was a distance that felt farther than 2 miles.
Because it was 6.
Anyways, so Reese decides to get off at VVR. A painstaking decision that was totally the right choice for her.
Yeah.
Totally the right choice. Yeah. And so we bid farewell to Reese at VVR. She had to take this like wild
Yeah.
Like, I can't even detail it because I don't know the extent of it.
It's a 2-hour
but it was
car
like
ride
a
out of
real
there.
trek to get out of there.
Yeah.
But she was hurting and like continue on was not going to be okay for her body to do.
No.
So then we
had started pushing the pace a bit.
Make our way back up to the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to the trail.
Yeah.
Which was great. And then we went rock sliding that day. We found that like rock waterfall slide and we slid our little booties down it and it was so fun.
And then we camped at Marie Lake.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
So nice.
A little bit of mosquitoes, but it wasn't bad.
But it was fine.
And then the next day we went to Muir.
We didn't really go to Muir Hut the next day.
No,
Muir Ranch.
with all the hot pools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we hung out at Muir Ranch
for like a couple hours, maybe.
What were they were hot springs. There was like Mama Bear, Baby Bear, and Big Bear. Yeah. And they were different degrees of hotness.
Yeah.
And they were naturally occurring. It was so cool. And then we continued hiking on to Kings Canyon National Forest.
We entered the park that night.
Yeah. And we don't need to go into this story.
That was when Megan had an adult tantrum. And put herself in timeout.
I did. I put myself in timeout and then I came back with a refreshed mind.
Well,
and we didn't have to talk about it. And
it was beautiful.
It was great.
The only thing, I mean, it's like the Rascal just wants Miles. And I think me and Arlee were just ready to hang out.
Because no matter what, we were going to go to Muir Hut the next night. So it didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. And this campsite we were at was really nice. There was a river.
Yeah.
It was spacious.
It was loud river. I love a loud river.
And Rascal's all like, can we just do like 2 more miles?
And we were like,
and they're like, no. And I'm like, but I really want to do 2 more miles. And they're like, no.
And then you were like, well, I'm going to take the permit with me.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Well, I have the permit.
I'll take a picture.
Okay, cool. Well, we're staying here. Ultimatums.
And then I like disappeared because I was like, oh, if I like pretend that I left, maybe they'll all just follow me.
Nope.
And then
I saw you sitting behind the tree.
And then they didn't follow me. And so I had to like reframe my like mindset of like, why am I out here on this trip? Oh yeah, it's to like have fun with my friends. So
and
then,
you did that.
And then we had fun after that.
And we had some, I mean, we had fun before.
Yeah.
And after. And now it's a funny story about the during. So
yeah. I remember Arlee was like, I've never seen this side of Rascal before. I was like, I haven't either. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on. I don't really want
to make her mad, but also I'm not really trying to give in to this.
And that's probably what like strengthened our friendship too, is that like, I know that you guys are just not going to give in to my bullshit.
Yeah.
So I just have to like be okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it really strengthened us and we were rejuvenated to continue on to Mount Whitney from here. So the next day, we went up to Muir Hut
the next day.
Yeah, and we camped a little below it.
Yeah, just below it.
Yeah, we camped below.
Because there was like a lake below where we could have water and stuff, and we camped there. We met some really nice friends that day.
Yeah.
We met that badass lady, the older couple.
Yeah.
2 like best friends women. They were like old. They were like in their 70s probably.
Yeah.
They were hiking the John Muir Trail and they were just so absolutely crushing. I took a picture of one of them for my vision board.
I took a video of her without her knowing.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, that's good.
With my camera.
Oh, is it in the footage?
Yes.
Oh, and all the content that we haven't
vaults?
seen since 2021.
Wow.
I
did, except for some photos that were on my dating profile.
Nice.
And they did get me some dates.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's untouched footage from the John Muir Trail. I just need to look through.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold my breath on that one.
Anyways, so then we camped right below Muir Hut, which was incredible. And it was very high up. I could feel the altitude that night.
Yeah.
Not at Muir Hut, this did happen, but on this trip, I had my first ever backpacker meals, like the kind dehydrated, both of which I got out of hiker boxes.
Oh, yeah.
I think the first one was at Tuolumne, and then I had my second one at this night.
Did it stop you up?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you. And then, so then we camped at right below Muir Hut, which was almost 12,000 feet. So like we were really high up.
Yeah.
And I don't think I had a hard time sleeping, but like I could feel my heart pumping.
Yeah.
Extra hard that night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What is your guys' favorite backpacker meal?
I really liked that first one I had. I don't remember what it was.
I like chicken pot pie.
Oh, I never had that one.
Yeah.
I don't really eat them because they're so expensive.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah.
The only one I really like is the Good to Go brand from Maine.
Oh,
and they have like a pad thai that's really good.
Yeah.
Apparently there's anchovies in it, which I didn't know. And then I made Chris, my partner, get one for this trip that he was doing, and he was like, that was absolutely gross. And I was like, I've never tasted the anchovies in the I don't even know they're in there. He's like, that's all I could taste. How could you lead me astray like that?
All right, Chris.
Wow.
Well,
all right.
Elite taste
dramatic.
buds, I guess.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't want you to just eat ramen the whole time.
Yeah, so I guess now that we've kind of briefly gone over our trip so far, we're going to kind of get into the DNF side of this story.
What became the final day.
Yeah, maybe DNF. We're leaving it up to you guys to decide.
Right. Jury's out, I guess.
My jury's
depends on who you ask.
My jury knows what it was.
So does mine.
Okay.
So we're hiking down that next morning. It's beautiful.
Down, then back up.
Yeah. So
talk about Doozy Basin, Bishop Pass.
This last day went is we went from Muir Hut right abouts, which was 12,000, back down to 6,000,
right,
and then back up to 12,000 at Bishop Pass.
Yeah,
and then descended on a Blue Blaze, which Bishop Pass was a Blue Blaze.
But Bishop Pass, keep in mind, in 3 miles it goes all the way up,
all the way up. Basically, there's no resupply options that are really good in the Sierras, so you have to be prepared to either carry the entire length of trip, like that amount of food, or you can take these excessively long trails out of the Sierras to hitch into towns to get more food. And as people who enjoy miles and don't enjoy carrying heavy things, we were like, we'll just take this extra side trail out and hitch into Bishop, California, which is one of my favorite places ever, and just get more food. And then hike back in.
Little did we know that Bishop Pass was going to be the hardest hike any of us had ever done.
Well,
speaking for myself exclusively.
The worst hike I ever went on was the 47th
that
Adirondack hike.
That hadn't happened.
We can't talk about that right
that's
now.
A future hike.
We can't talk about it right now.
At the time, it was Bishop Pass.
Yes.
But let me just set the scene for you.
Please.
It's morning. I personally am listening to Misery by Stephen King, and I find this gear. They're talking. It's the end of the book. So I've listened to all of this lead up with, I forget her name, where she is, traumatizing this man. And then he finally fights back, and I am pumped. So pumped. And it is gory. He's fighting back. And so I am just
Tara's pace
flying up this mountain.
Scary. And I'm behind her, and I'm like, if I don't haul my ass as fast as I can, I will never see my friend Tara ever again. The minute I fear that she's out of my sight, that's it. She's gone. So I am killing myself to just keep her within my eyesight. And I'm hauling behind her. And I'm like, how is this the hardest hike I've ever been on? This is ridiculous. And then I look back and I'm like, I don't even fucking see Arlee. I don't even know what's going on.
I'm falling farther and farther behind. There's a lot of gasping for breath. There was many a tear flowing from my eyes. But also I was just trucking along. It was a real combination, a real switch back and forth between trucking along, sobbing, realizing it's really hard to sob and hike uphill in the elevation. And then there's this sweet, sweet couple, older man, older woman, coming down the Doozy Basin trail. And they were see me crying, and they say, oh, are you part of the braided Wonder Girls up ahead? And this was the only day I didn't have braids in because we were going into town, and I was like, it doesn't matter because I'm going to wash my hair tonight. It doesn't have to stay untangled. So I didn't have braids. I was behind my friends, and I was like, yeah, those are my friends. I'm a braided Wonder Girl. And then they continued down and I continued up. And then I ran into them like a year later in the Adirondacks on top of Macomb.
Oh, those people.
Yeah.
That's
that couple.
so wild.
Yeah. It was wild.
Did you talk to them?
Yeah. We chatted. I was wearing the same outfit.
So you're like, we made it. Just so you know, we all did make it.
Yeah. No, they were really sweet, but it was a low point for me.
That was because Tara made it to the top and like sat down, and then I made it there a few minutes later and sat down, and we're just like hanging.
Well, this was pre-top. This is like a break spot.
Oh, is that where we took that picture with the sign?
It's
no. This is before that. We still have
somehow this one clip has made it out of the files, the vault, where Tara took a video of me crying with my sunglasses on, recounting that I was so glad I'd run into you guys and being asked about the Braided Wonder Girl.
Should I put that on the Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So look out on the Instagram for Arlee's video.
You should repost that really cool one too.
It's relatable
to
everyone.
I'll repost another cool one
from only two things we've seen from 2021.
Yeah.
And a lot of dating photos.
Yeah.
For your dating
from when we were rock hopping.
Yeah.
Honestly, no, those ones from the natural pools, those were on my Hinge account for a while.
Oh.
What can I say?
Damn it.
You really got us places.
Yeah.
And then from the top of Donahue Pass with the beer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And Bishop Pass.
I mean, yeah. If you
So
like them so much.
No.
Eventually we did get to the top of Bishop Pass.
Yeah. It took forever.
There was so much rejoicing. There's a wonderful photo of the three of us just in such friendship at 12,000 feet. It was yet again
really high.
For the second time that day at 12,000 feet. And then the descent began.
Yeah.
To the parking lot.
And that was just flowy.
That was fine. Yeah. Whatever.
And then we got
it was inconsequential.
How did we get back?
We got a hitch.
We hitched.
It was hard to get a hitch.
Yeah, because that's like a not super popular day hike place.
The car that we got a hitch in, it was a girl, and she had a bed in the back of her like Subaru.
And that's right. We fell asleep. I have a picture of that. Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah. She drove us into town, and then we got back to the hostel.
And we're gonna take a zero.
But this is when
pick up here.
So we get to town. Tara and I are starving because
hungry.
Worked so hard all day.
I'm also, when I'm hungry, I'm not
kind. Me neither. It quickly turns.
We all get a little hangry.
It's not good. Megan Rascal over here, who's one of the dirtiest of all three of us. She's like, we should go shower before we go out, before we get food. And Tara and I were like, absolutely not. We're going to the brewery right now. We're all getting burgers. Let's go. And Rascal was like, can we shower? And we were like, no. And we just kept walking and didn't give her a choice.
See, this is what I deal with.
Well, you came with us.
I did. That's the thing. I was like, fuck, all right. Well, we're going to maybe they're not going to even serve us. Because yes, I am the dirtiest out of all three of us. So I usually
they didn't hesitate to serve.
Smell the worst.
They're pretty stoked.
I think.
I like to believe they're pretty stoked.
They see people like us all the time.
I mean, we went to spend money on burgers and beer, so
and it was great. So then, whatever. We're in town. It's probably mid-afternoon.
Yeah,
we get fed. We go back to the hostel. Do the 0-day things like showering and eating and relaxing.
Was Reese there? Did Reese come?
Nope.
No,
she had already gone all the way home.
Yeah. And so the next day, a lot of people are going, PCT hikers were going to do a river trip. And I was like, I feel so dehydrated. I can't go.
Do that.
And Rascal went. And so it was a bunch of them, all these hikers, through hikers.
There wasn't many of us. There was 4 of us. And this guy at the hostel had gotten a bunch of inner tubes from Walmart. And he had a truck, one of the caretakers. And so we all went to the river in town and just went to float.
Yeah. And so it was me and Arlee and a bunch of hikers back.
Yeah.
At the hostel.
Dirty was with us.
Yeah. And I remember, Rascal, you can say from your side how this happened, but I'll say how I heard about this. So I was just walking through the halls of the hostel, and there's a guy that came running from wherever, and it was like Paul Revere.
Yeah, honestly.
Revere.
Paul Revere.
Paul Revere.
Yeah.
Paul Revere. He came through the halls. And he came through the halls. It was the John Muir Trail. All the California was all
California is shut down.
California was shut down.
And he was right.
Yeah, the Dixie Fire.
Unbelievable.
It was the Dixie Fire. And so California, to avoid like any more fire starting, and it was also Memorial Day weekend, right?
No.
What was it? It was a
Labor Day weekend?
Labor? I don't know.
It could have been. We started August
weekend.
17th. We weren't out there for that long.
I remember it was coming. Like, I remember they were shutting it down because there was a holiday approaching and they didn't want to perpetuate the fires, so they like closed down. And it was an
unprecedented move that had never happened before.
Well, they were nervous that if another fire broke out, they wouldn't obviously have enough resources of both firefighters and, you know, helicopters and everything to actually put out another fire or help anybody that was out there who was caught in these fires. So their reasoning was like, okay, just shut down all of California. That way, hopefully nobody's out on the trails at all. So if there is a fire and we can't get to it immediately, no one's just going to unnecessarily die.
It was like real safety reasoning.
Totally.
It was a good reason.
Yeah.
It was a great reason. So they didn't use resources like
necessarily. People weren't stuck out there in danger.
Yeah. Really good reason.
It's
like to think. And I like to follow the rules of the land.
Me too. I just spent the whole summer teaching kids how to follow the rules of the outdoors and like be good stewards of the trail and the environment. And this is what brings us to a divide in the group.
Well, we should let Rascal tell how she figured out about this.
Go ahead,
because Rascal's on the river.
Rascal's floating down the river. Rascal's very dehydrated because all we brought on the river was water guns and beer. No water to actually drink and no shade. No sunscreen, nothing. We're dying. This guy told me that spoons, he was like, yeah, it'll be like an hour and a half on the river. But the water levels were low, so they weren't moving fast. So we were out there for like 3 hours. So I'm like delirious by the time we finally make it back to this truck and we're like gonna head back to the hostel. But I make it back to the truck and I look at my phone and my friend Sassafras has been hiking the PCT southbound. And I was hoping that we'd get to meet up with her on her way down and our way down as well because we were going south too. But she texted me and she's like, dude, are you gonna hike tomorrow? And I was like, what do you mean? Yeah, we're like, you know, like me and my friends are in the JMT. We're going to get back to trail. We only have 63 miles left and then climb Mount Whitney. And it's going to be amazing and great. And
they're the best miles, by the way.
They're so good.
So many passes. The most beautiful part of the trail.
I missed them all.
Yeah, you missed them all.
I haven't done them yet.
And I was like, well, I'm hiking. And she's like, no, you're not. All of California's closed. And I was like, oh, no. And so I'm just like racing in my head because I'm a purist. I don't know if anyone picked up on that. So I'm like flipping my shit. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have to like get off this trail. I can't finish this trail. I can't hike on the red line. Oh my gosh.
Wait, sorry. Just to ask, you were going to have to not finish the trail?
All right.
I heard that. I heard that too.
Out of powers that were out of my control.
Right, but you were going to have to not finish.
Out of my control. I did not have any say in this.
In hindsight, we did not finish the trail.
So there's so many caveats to this because I did finish the trail.
Okay, but let's go back to the story. Let's go back to where you were.
So I told the guys in the truck, I'm like, listen, I know there's news that like California shut down, whatever. Nobody tell my friends. Okay, we are fast hikers. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to the trail like normal, like we had planned tomorrow, and we're just going to run the rest of it. Like, I'm going to just convince my friends that, like, it's time to send. And we're just going to get through those last 63 miles in Whitney, lickety-split. No one's even going to know we were out there because we're moving so fast, and we're just going to be fine. And we're going to take care of the land, and it's going to be fine. And then the second we pull into the hostel, both of these jokers are looking at me like, how are we going to break the news? And I'm like, God damn it, they know. And then I went into this whole spiral. There's this video of me spiraling outside of the hostel. And Tara's like, how do you feel? And I'm like, I can't talk about it. I'm having so many conflicting feelings inside. What if we just go hike? That's all I know how to do.
Tara and I stood our ground. Yeah. And we said that's not the right thing to do. We can't, in good conscience, do that. So we won't be. Sorry, Rascal.
And boom. See? Third time's the charm. These two make a decision. Rascal's like, wait, but... And they're like,
great
nope.
decision. It was the right choice.
Yeah,
it was the right choice.
And in the long run, I agree it was the right choice. And it was a very big motivating factor for me to go back the next summer.
Wow.
And hike the entire length.
Oh, we got to provide that for
Yeah.
her.
Inspiration, motivation,
encouragement. All from not finishing the John Muir Trail.
Stop.
So we were prevented from the government by the government to not finish a trail. I think that's a pretty exceptional reason not to finish.
Yeah.
And so we'll get back to this, like, this argument. I would love for Arlee and Rascal to prove their cases on this.
Oh, yeah.
For a debate to happen. A nice, calm debate. We're going to keep the rules of regular debating. But is it a DNF?
Yes, it is. Let me make my case first.
Yeah, let's
okay. And then you can, and then we'll do some rebuttals.
Ooh.
All right? Does that sound that's good?
We'll go back. The reason why Rascal thinks that it's not a DNF because she finished all the miles. We'll just say that. She did do the PCT and finished all those miles. But let's go.
I think it is a DNF because we didn't finish the trail at that time. We had set out to do the whole thing, and we did not finish it.
In a calendar year.
Not to encourage black and white thinking, as that is typically unhelpful for folks. I'm going to say this is black and white. We did not finish, so therefore it was a DNF.
That's convincing, Rascal.
We did have to go home. And we did not get to hike those last 63 miles in Whitney those next few days like we had planned to. But, I mean, 2 out of 3 of us did go back and hike those 63 miles in Whitney.
That is true. She does have a point, Arlee.
Is it time for my rebuttal?
And like in the grand scheme of things, I think I do think of it somewhat as a DNF because, like, if you're thinking like race setting or like, you know, long effort setting, but if you're
like
thinking
the long effort of a through hike,
right? But okay. But if you're thinking from through, no, like a long effort, like a route or like an FKT,
like the John Muir Trail route,
like a fast pack thing. We were through hiking. We were chilling. We weren't doing anything crazy. All right, don't look at me like that. We are aggressively average. That's clear.
Yeah.
But
would you rather say that we quit?
We didn't. We
How
didn't
about
quit? We were forced away. And you know what? A big factor of me like finally being like, all right, fine, we can leave is when someone pointed out, they were like, Rascal, do you really want to hike back up Bishop Pass, Doozy Basin and get to where the trail, the JMT crosses and like potentially have a ranger there being like, sorry, kids, turn around. And then we have to do that same trek 3 times. The hardest thing we've ever hiked 3 times. I was like, you know what? Maybe not. And then we did leave and we did go hike other things.
We went to Arizona Flagstaff where we are right now.
Oh my gosh.
And we hiked the Arizona Trail. We went a little bit of the Arizona Trail, a 20-mile section.
Yeah. So it does seem like we're in agreement that it was a DNF.
That it was.
And that it does feel like
forced.
Not to call you out in the rudest way, but it does feel like Rascal's having a hard time admitting to the public that she did not finish a trail.
But she did do the whole trail.
At a different time, in a different calendar year.
You did the whole trail. You can say that.
It was just
done the whole trail.
It was just different. This attempt was a DNF.
Next week,
it was.
You see Rascal post, and now I'm on the John Muir Trail.
Dude, that would be wild if you did a John Muir Trail.
Honestly, like I have nothing
right now.
I have nothing better to do. The snowpack might be a little too high.
Yeah,
right?
It's pretty early season.
Give it like a month or 2.
Yeah,
I'll go hang it with some PCTers.
Yeah,
honestly though, the JMT route through the Sierras is actually more beautiful than the PCT route because besides the southern half is the same as the JMT, but the northern half of the JMT is different than the PCT route, and it's so weird. It like doesn't bring you down to some of the like more beautiful things we saw in the northern half of the JMT.
Yeah. What's up with that?
I don't know, but was I complaining about it on my PCT hike? Absolutely.
So
did you when you were on the PCT, did you tell people about our Bishop Pass? Did you go up Bishop Pass or did you do Kennebec?
I did
or is it Kennebec?
It's not Kennebec. It's It's the other one.
Yeah, K. It starts with a K.
I think it's
Kearsarge?
Kearsarge. That was it.
Yeah.
Yes, I did that one. And you know what? Cruisy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So let that be a
Lovely.
lesson to you. Bishop
Don't
Pass.
take Bishop Pass.
Do not.
I did take a picture on my PCT hike at that sign that tells you to go that way with my middle finger up. And my friend Red was like, why? And I was like, because if you go that way, then you'll just curse out everything. Everyone.
Here's a question. If we had taken Kearsarge, would we have still been on? Would we have finished?
Potentially.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, I think if when we had gotten to Kearsarge, we would have had to get off.
No, if we hadn't taken the 0.
Yes.
Oh.
Like if we had
Out and back to Bishop in a day? No chance.
Yeah, which wouldn't have
No
happened.
chance.
And we all wanted to hang out in Bishop.
Yeah.
But like if we hadn't come back into cell service, basically, we probably wouldn't have known at least for another 2 days. And by then we would have been so close that I would have been able to convince both of you to just send it to the end.
Well, hard saying not knowing. So
wait, do you all want to go back?
I would
go
in
back.
a heartbeat
Yeah.
go back with the two of you.
Yeah.
Oh my God, immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately. Yeah.
But
Yes,
can we
yes.
we have to agree on a pace and goals for the attempt.
The FKTer says we have to agree on a pace.
Because, okay, I don't know if you guys know this.
Paid ultra endurance athlete says, can we slow down?
But when I am backpacking for enjoyment, I don't want to do anything fast. Like yesterday we did a hike in the Grand Canyon. I was like, I'm going to hike a lot. And it felt great.
Yeah, and then you sat down for like 20 minutes.
I looked at rocks in this riverbed and found some really cool rocks. Really into rocks now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Super into rocks.
What a cool hobby for you to pick up. Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder why
I
that came
wonder
about.
where that came from.
Because I like rocks.
I
was also in Tenerife.
Grand Canyon.
I was in Tenerife and all there was rocks, and that's probably
The world is made of rocks, so good one.
It's
I was trying to look for fossils. Anyways. So TBD on if we're going back.
We should do something.
We would love to.
Yeah.
We would love to.
I think you guys don't need to respond to this and let us know if you think it was a DNF, because I think we've come to the conclusion together.
Yeah.
It was a DNF.
You can send us your opinions.
We'd love to hear. We'd love to hear from the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So check out our social medias.
Always.
We're going to have Arlee's video up there.
Yeah.
That is dnf.diaries on Instagram. And that's all. I love that picture.
Yeah, it's been my inspiration.
Oh my gosh. Arlee.
It's a real little creepy too.
Yeah. Sorry, Arlee's phone just lit up and there's a picture
of some of my idols after they demolished a race.
Yeah.
It's been my inspiration for trading this block.
My cheeks are a little flush right now because I'm so I feel so good.
I see it every day and I think, okay, Arlee, do the trading. Just do it. Do it.
So do you guys have anything else to say? Any closing remarks? Rascal, what's going on in your life?
Everything and nothing at the same time.
Yeah, I
don't know if you heard.
Question.
I just got back from an international trip. I don't know if you guys knew that.
A can of worms there.
Here we go.
I just got back from another through hike, and now I kind of want to sit down for a minute and work to make some monies.
Should we ask the audience
if
they have any?
Hey, so people of the internets. My name is Rascal, but my real name is Megan. I know it's weird, but I'm really good at some things, and I'd really like to be hired to do some of those things, but under my own terms and conditions. And it's really hard to find a job these days, especially with my sporadic resume. But I've got a college degree in organizational leadership, and
you're a gem,
a pleasure to be around. I'm a really hard worker because I like to do hard things.
She worked for 40 days straight once.
One time,
Jesus.
For my best friend, I worked for 40 days straight and slept a total of maybe 2 days.
And hand fed me. So
time.
If you have something that's along that line.
I'm looking for logistics managing, something like that, operations managing, project coordinator, Something in the outdoor realm, though, because those are the people that I get along with the best.
Yeah, really anything in the outdoor realm.
So DM Megan Joy 94.
That's me.
With those job opportunities.
Yeah, it's true. Right now I'm based out of Salt Lake, but I can travel a bit here and there.
So a hybrid job would be ideal.
Specifically Durango. If you have a job in Durango specifically, that would be amazing.
Yes, if I could just split my time between Durango, Burlington, and Salt Lake City, then I would cover all of my favorite people in the world.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you guys think anyone's still listening?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. If you are still listening, let us know by doing something.
Well, do y'all's parents listen? I feel like my mom's now going to be like, oh my God, I heard you on a podcast with Tara.
Yeah, my dad's a fan.
Yeah, love him.
Yeah. Shout out Chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, oh my gosh. Yeah, that was our story.
So
yeah,
good.
where can we find you on Instagram, Arlee?
Oh, yeah, a.hisk on Instagram. That's HISK.
Yeah, I'm Tara.Dower and Megan Joy 94.
If you type in Rascal, it pops up as well.
Yeah. All right, guys, that is it. Anything else? We should read a review.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all got a review?
We have quite a few, actually.
I was having trouble finding them.
I'm on Apple Podcasts.
Oh, okay.
That's where I've been finding them. So let's go to, this is the first one. There's been a couple since our last podcast.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Okay.
Read one out.
Do you want to read
this
this
I would
one?
love to.
Okay.
I'd love to. Okay. This podcast is the normal gossip of trail running, and it exceeds my wildest expectations every time. Bless you, earthly saints, Arlee and Tara, for this hilarious and cathartic treat for our ears. I give thanks to DNF Diaries for making me laugh out loud in the woods on my long runs, and of course to Courtney, our Lord and Savior. May her legs never tire. Keep making these, please. Amen. Oh my God.
That's from Howdy
Mister.
Oh
Thank you so much. That is incredible.
That's 5 stars.
We are earthly saints.
Oh my God.
Wow. Okay.
That really hyped
let's
me
read
up.
another one next time.
Okay, there's so many.
Next time we'll read another one.
You all are music to our ears. It's so true.
Thanks.
I was having a really rough night one of my last days on my last thru hike, and I was like, you know what I can do to make my life better? I can plug my best friends into my ears and just listen. And I was indeed laughing out loud and making funny rebuttal comments back by myself.
Yeah.
So if you would like your best friends in your ears, give us a 5-star review so we can keep doing this, and then we'll read your review online.
On air.
Yeah, on the air.
Yeah, and we'll be back with another crowdsourced DNF story next time from our email account. So submit them. Submit them. We love them.
It's going to be my week.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Rascal, thank you for coming on.
It's
what a
just
joy.
So good to be with you all.
Yeah. You really live up to your middle name.
Joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Right?
Bye.
Happy trails.